Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. So today I am looking at more ways to climb the ladder post Cabaretti Rebels nerf. So I'm going to play a few games today, so you'll get to see what I've seen with regards to whether or not that nerf worked. I think it did. Other people have said they think it doesn't. We'll see how many times we run into that deck in Mythic. But the reason today that I'm looking at Angels, as you will have seen from the thumbnail, is that what I wanted was I want big flyers because a lot of the decks still on the ladder are red or red-white or mono-green, even making a bit of a comeback. So I wanted chunky flyers that I can go over the top of those decks with, but I also want to have removal for mono colour, which is coming back a little bit, hence the 4 Vanishing Verses, but I also want to not suck against Esper. So the way that Esper tends to work is pretty good draw and single point threat removal. So by that I mean things like they will be running their own Vanishing Verses, they could or could not be running cast downs, they'll be running the odd counter. What they don't tend to deal too well with is kind of snowbally type effects, so things like the Angels deck. The reason that I want to revisit Angels specifically is that they've actually had a couple of pretty significant buffs with the release of Baldur's Gate that I haven't really seen tried out too much. So I just want to talk through those. So firstly, Black Market Connections is a 3-costing enchantment. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, choose one or more. Create a treasure token, lose 1 life, draw a card, lose 2 life, or create a 3/2 colourless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling, lose 3 life. So you can lose up to 6 life on the start of each turn. You can draw cards or create treasure as you need. Those are kind of a bit self-explanatory. If you, for example, are going to miss your land drop, because you get to take this at the beginning of your pre-combat mains, you've already drawn, so you can see if you've drawn a land for your land drop. If you haven't, it's often worth drawing a card for 2 life. If you've already dropped a land and you've got stuff to do, then you don't need to draw a card. So it's pretty nice that you have that flexibility. The obviously benefit of this, playing this in Angels, is that it has creates a changeling, a 3/2 changeling. So it is anything that gets better with Angels is going to get better with the Hire a Mercenary trigger on this card. So the main combo is obviously with Righteous Valkyrie. Whenever an Angel enters the battlefield, we gain life equals to its toughness. And then there's an even stronger combo if we have a Giada Font of Hope down, which basically means each Angel that enters, for each Angel we have, it enters bigger. So if we have both Giada and Righteous Valkyrie down, when a Changeling enters the battlefield, it's going to enter as a 5/4 Changeling, which counts as an Angel, so we will gain 4 life back. In other words, if we have Giada and Righteous Valkyrie down, we pay 3 life to gain 4 life. So we gain 1 life net, and we get a 5/4 Angel. So it seems like a pretty better deal than just getting a standard 3/2. If we have a Youthful Valkyrie down, it's going to put an extra counter on that because it counts as an Angel entering. So it triggers all 12 of these creatures' abilities, which I find really nice. Not to mention, it also works with the Firja's Retribution, 2nd and 3rd Saga phases. So, these Shapeshifter Changelings are really good Angels in the deck that we can spit out each turn for 3 life, or potentially 0 life if we've got a Righteous Valkyrie down. So that's one big buff. Big buff number 2 is actually the Champions of Tyr. So this card really hasn't seen a lot of play for a Mythics. It's a 4-costing flying 4/3 Angel Knight with double team. So in other words, when we attack with this, well, you can see what double team. When a creature with double team attacks, if it's not a token, conjure a duplicate into your hand, then both of them perpetually lose double team. The main card that's been seeing usage with this is Tiefling Outcast. This is just a 4/3 flying version of that. It has, when it enters the battlefield, you get a boon with when you cast your next creature spell, that creature enters the battlefield with a choice of a 1/1 counter, a flying counter, or a lifelink counter. So this is nice with putting lifelink counters on things or 1/1 counters on things. So lifelink can get us over the magical 27 life for Righteous Valkyrie to upgrade all of our creatures. 1/1 counters can take them out of the range of things like Molten Impact or Mephit's Enthusiasm. So we can get them up to 5 toughness quite easily, for example putting a 1/1 on a Righteous Valkyrie. So yeah, this boon is actually pretty useful in the current meta, particularly with lifelink against some of the more aggro-y decks, being able to sort of just balance that curve out a little bit. If you go from having one of these to then putting like a 5/4 lifelink in play because you've got a Giada, then it's pretty solid. The nice thing about the Champions of Tyr, really, that I don't think maybe other people have picked up on, is that what Giada's a really good card when it came out in Streets of New Capenna, but what it's always been missing is a 4-costing angel. And why you want a 4-costing angel is because of Giada's add white, spend this only to cast an angel spell. So the only really good 4-costing angel card was Firja's Retribution, which doesn't count because it's not an angel spell, it's not a creature. And then there's obviously Legion Angel, which you can only really run 1 of or 2 of at most. So now we've got a reliable 4-costing angel that we can run out on turn 3. So the fact that we can play this on turn 3 as a 4/3 that they have to kill before it attacks, otherwise we get another one, is actually really, really nasty. It makes Giada far more dangerous to leave around if they know you can play this on turn 3. And the rest of this is basically a fairly standard angel package. I mean, we're running 2 Herald of Vengeance, which you can't run in standard because it's an alchemy card. When it enters the battlefield, destroy each permanent you don't control that is dealt. That has the same name as the permanent that dealt damage to you last turn. Particularly nice against like Tiefling Outcasts in the mono red decks. Not so good against Esper and things like that. It is nice against other certain cards, things like Anvil. So it's a bit of a questionable potential inclusion in the deck 'cause it's 5, and we actually are already running 5 other 5-drops. So we're running a 7 5-drops, which is obviously a lot. But the nice thing about Herald is, again, you can pay with Giada to put this out, as you can for Liesa. So these are kind of 4-drops in the right situations. So that's why we're running a few too many 5-drops. I'm running 3 Elspeth Resplendent, the Planeswalker that came out in Streets of New Capenna. Again, you don't see it very often, but in my mind this is a perfect combo with this deck because of the -3 ability. Looking for a permanent with mana value 3 or less among the top 7, putting it onto the battlefield with a shield counter on. Well, we want Righteous Valkyries for sure, and we want Giadas. So this is a nice pull off of this. You know, if we can put a Giada in play with a shield counter and they can't remove it, it can start this this combo that we've got going. And that's the deck in a nutshell. I'm running 25 lands, so running 1 Emeria's Call with 24 standard lands, 4 Vanishing Verses, 3 Fragment Reality, so 7 removal spells, all exiling, all pretty decent against the current meta. This one obviously struggles a little bit against Esper, and we can be a little removal light against Esper, it's fair to say. But it is what it is. They tend to be a little bit removal light against us too, and if we snowball faster we win. So that's kind of the goal against that deck. So going to have a bunch of games today, see how well we get on in the current meta, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how a sort of flying tribal deck can stack up against some of the top decks at the moment. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, let's get this party started against Mad Chemist. You can see, you couldn't see, I've dropped down to about 900 and something in Mythic rating at the moment because I've been playing around with some new decks to try and find interesting content for you all, but it's okay because I think we can get back up into the decent numbers quite quickly if we need to by going back to He Who Must Not Be Named, Esper. It's a nice straw, gives us a play on each of the first couple of turns. Mysterious silence from our white-green opponent. I assume it's life gain, but I'd like to be proved wrong. Okay, I've been proved wrong pretty much, because what on earth would they... Why would you not have played something by now if you're playing life gain? Old Growth Troll. One way to deal with those is hard exile. We'll go Legion Angel. So I'm guessing this is playing the white-green Wrath. Can't even remember what it's called. The one that gives all the creatures in your hand +1/+1. And then playing some tramply green creatures, or something along those lines. The reason I guess that is I've tried to make a similar deck myself, so... Revelry. Card and 2 1/1s. Thankfully not 4 life. So I think we should just get the Elspeth in here. I'll probably give the Legion Angel Vigilance an attack. Don't want to run into any Wandering Emperors or give them a chance to swing back for free on Elspeth. Make them remove this. Although we can replace them, obviously. It's nicer to force them to use some of the cards. That's the one, Begin Anew. I was trying to name earlier. Tries to force them to use some of the cards in their hand. Okay, Foretell is interesting. Could be a Doomscar, as in like some board wipe type tribal. Yeah, I guess we'll put Valkyrie and then minus this. Try and find another Valkyrie. Okay, Giada, but at least we've got a shield counter on the Giada. Even if that is a Doomscar, it just kills the Valkyrie. You don't see tons of Elspeth around these days. But it just works so nicely in this Angels deck. Farewell. That's pretty decent for them. I think we'll just put this down and plus Elspeth. I don't think we're in a rush to put the Liesa down. We can lifelink, I suppose. Because I can always fragment this Legion Angel if they don't do anything. This could also be the green creature that grows. Okay, the green creature that grows over time. Can't remember what it's called. Lupine Harbingers, maybe. Go on, put a shield counter on your Titan, and then I can exile it. And you get another old growth troll. Okay. I guess we're happy with them keeping that. So I can play this and a 4-drop. That's pretty nice. Don't want to sort of deploy too much, because of the potential pain we have coming out of here. Although if we force them to wipe their own board, so we've got up to 38 and we've got a Valkyrie with a shield counter on, and we're definitely not being attacked easily. I would guess a Doomscar is going to happen. Interesting to try and splash Old Growth Troll with its triple green cost. I can see why, it's because you can get it back, but like it's quite a tough deck to make work. And then once we play Liesa, that gives us some board wipe protection for our other creatures. So it's worth playing if we've got the Righteous Valkyrie down. Okay, well, thankfully that doesn't go through our Valkyrie. Okay. So we can only put this up to 5 power. It's a shame. We might as well give Vigilance, I think. Don't particularly need more life at the moment. Another Titan. We have another Exile, thankfully. Probably gain life and put a shield counter, I would guess. People don't tend to learn about Exile being a trend in a deck. No, destroy... What artifact or enchantment are they destroying? Oh, the Retribution. Okay. Good game. Alright, that was against quite a funky deck. I mean, board wipes against the creature deck is always going to do a certain well, but yeah, not too bad, and good start for the video. Alright, we seem to have come in against the same person again, so not brilliant variety, but nice to kind of get some more playtesting against a similar deck. So we know we're running into board wipes. We know what kind of deck we're facing. We don't know, that's probably a Doomscar. It's the only foretell card we saw before. Although only green so far, so I suppose we get rid of the old growth troll, maybe drain their turn in case they've got any fight effects or anything like that. Key to the Archive is an interesting one. Obviously we can fragment it, but they will get at least a troll. Probably worth getting rid of that, because we can then get rid of the troll. Although, do we need to? Problem is, we're probably going to get Doomscarred if we do. Do we take the risk that they don't have another white? Oh, I should have attacked first for 2. That was a misplay. I'd just like to be able to get at least one attack off with the champions to get the copy to my hand. The attack there implies they're going to Doomscar to me, but I won't block anyway. Or otherwise wipe the board. Valorous stance, okay, so it was a destroy for our creature either way. Bring back the stance, okay. So we don't want to play our Liesa until that's gone, that's for sure. Put the Retribution down. They can target the 5/5 with the stance if they want. We don't mind so much about that. I'm still not double white, which is nice. That implies they haven't got it, I think. Unless they're playing a real psych out game. Holding on to the second white to see if I'll develop. Okay, no removal for the Angel yet. Okay. That was a relatively easy block. I guess they need the green mana, but not sure. Okay, we'll attack for 7 and then play Liesa. Because they can either board wipe or remove Liesa then. Or do we play this? I think what we'll do is we'll tap this and play the Valkyrie. Then we can still keep Verse open. And then we represent lethal. Obviously there's a Verse, a Doomscar. Yeah. Don't really want to be taking damage from that. So sadly we have to give one of these up to this stance. And I guess it's the Valkyrie. Such a nice target for Valorous stance. But now we have a chance of keeping our Liesa. A small chance. Another one. Okay. At least we should have lots of angels in this deck somewhere. When they're drawing and holding on to them, it just makes me feel like they're holding on to board wipes. The connections is nice because it gives us some draws at least. We can hopefully gain it, go ahead on cards a little bit. So we'll just take the card this turn. Another land. We run about par for lands with our deck at the moment. Okay, Doomscar Foretold. So probably don't want to play out the Giada. Let's see what we draw. Yeah, probably not. This is enough to kill them in 2 turns, so let's make them do something about these 2 first. There's probably multiple board wipes in these, given that this is basically a board wipe tribal, I think. There's a good chance that they're running 8 board wipes. There's that one. Okay, I will probably just do this again this turn. We can do 1 and 2, just to gain back a little bit of life. Don't think we'll put the next one down. Nice thing is if they don't get rid of the Righteous Valkyrie, the shape shifter is free, because it will be a 3/2, but it will come in as a 5/4 due to Giada. And then we gain the life back, so we're actually life positive, so we can continue to do nothing and try and draw out some board wipes. There's one. At least we've managed to build up a couple more creatures in our hand. Revelry, okay. So probably just a card. So we'll probably Giada and this and this. Don't put that because we've got 7. Just want to be able to present lethal. Nice. Feel a bit mean beating up on the same opponent, but it's done well for our rating. So let's see if we can get someone else now. All right. Different opponent at least. I think we'll keep it, just so we have got some removal on a Valkyrie, which that's nice. We've got something to do even if they don't play anything now. Tramway Station is interesting. Anvil deck. I haven't played against Anvil in a while. Come on. Time to see what their removal's like. Got a pretty nice curve out here because we've got 2, 3, and then 4, 5. Interesting to see how we fare against this type of deck. I haven't played against one in ages. I was thinking about trying an Anvil one myself, to be honest, as it's pretty good, I would say, against Esper, as this isn't subject to Vanishing Verse and there's no individually, important things for them to remove, which is what Esper likes to play against. They're not really a big sweeper type thing, unless they're Esper Planeswalkers, but these days they're playing their own Diviners and things, so it's fewer sweepers, more individual removal, Vanishing Verses and cast downs and things. That's a whiff, which is good. Annoys me when people always hit non-lands off this. Ooh, it's quite nasty. I think we'll probably just play this out and not attack for now, just in case there's some removal coming. This thing is such a removal magnet that I would expect it to be removed rather than expect it not to, in general, when playing this deck. At least we can exile this Smelter. And assuming that if they get rid of the Righteous Valkyrie, they can't get rid of the Youthful Valkyrie, then we'll have a 3/5 next turn, which will be nice. 5 is kind of the limit of toughness for them to get rid of. Okay, targeting that one is very interesting. I would suppose because they can't deal with things above 4 toughness, like I said. 3 life back. I think I'll attack, as I can't see us ever blocking with this Righteous Valkyrie. It means too much to me to have alive. Whew. That's just red. Okay, that's nice. And at least this can get rid of the anvil. Might as well exile this in response so they don't get a chance to trigger it. At least we can fly over and kill these as well. We're not under life threat at the moment. Potentially making our thing get lifelink as well, which would be nice. Although Liesa would be pretty strong here. Don't forget to anvil, opponent. Oh, you forgot to anvil. So that's 5 life back, and obviously a buff to the Youthful Valkyrie, which means we can kill off 1 Obnixilus. And obviously we always target the token 1. So, because this one's legendary. Looks like we're in a pretty nice place. Difficult for the opponent to remove this, and even if they remove the others, we'd get them back. Don't mind losing some life because we've got flying life linkers. And we can always take the anvil out if required, but I think I'll hold on to the fragment. Nice to get value out of our own creatures. Tramway. I mean, better off using the one that you can just seek a card now. You have to sack it. Maybe. Their creatures get exiled, so they don't even get a meat hook trigger due to Liesa. If a creature or an opponent would die, exile it. It's just a nice perk of that card. So I think we'll put a Vigilant counter on here. Kill that. Might as well hit for 4. As I would block with Liesa if I had call to. I'm expecting the concede to come soon, to be honest. They've got no blood tokens, so we're not worried about blood tithe. There we go. You can tell I play too much when I can call normally what cards they're going to play against me and when they're going to concede. Let's go again. Okay, next game. I've had to walk the dog, take the dog to the vets, have dinner, and now I'm back to win some more with Angels. Hopefully. I don't really like this hand. No 2-drops and no black land. That is better. We have to assume we don't need that. I assume we're playing against Esper, so I assume that's bad. Probably a good assumption so far. Let's see. Oh no. It's going to be Hinata. Oh no. Wizards? Probably this one then. Slightly harder to remove. Fable. Interesting. Be interesting to see where this deck goes. It's not quite Wizards, or I'm not sure what it is. It must be low curve to run Shredder though, so I'm hoping whatever it is we can go over the top of it. So far we're just seeing Fables and Shredders. Okay, it is like a Wizards deck, which we should be able to go over the top of relatively easily. Yeah, just put this in. 6/5 is going to be hard to deal with. Can swing for 3. Obviously they can deal with a 6/5, but it's going to take at least 2 removal spells or a bounce. We do need to draw some removal though. Only threw away 1. And it was a land. There's a lot of land gone in the bin for them. Iteration's nice, yeah. Pretty cool sleeves, something. Although try as I might, I can't find a good Shadowheart deck. If anyone's got any suggestions for Shadowheart, please do let me know. I need them. I need to make this card good, I just don't know how. Failing miserably. Molten Impact, okay. That's Giada gone. Or Molten Impact plus something to get rid of the champions. Yeah, Giada, okay. Interesting strangle. Okay, because they got the 2 damage left over. That's worked nicely. Getting in for a load. Could use another Giada here, or that also works, I suppose. I guess we will give this 1/1. Make it slightly harder to remove. We can then pay 3 and play this for 3 life back. Shredder, trigger, whatever. Okay, now our creatures are hard to get through. And then we just give them Vigilance with Elspeth. Or we search for more Valkyries. I haven't decided yet. Double Reflection is obviously an issue. It's a win gone on its own, right? Really? Interesting. Callum. Are we dead? Maybe. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, we're dead. GG. That last one was interesting because we basically drew 0 removals. It shows that we're struggling in that situation. But I think I'd expect to struggle. This is a much nicer hand. Some removal, and we've got a turn 3 Champions of Tyr if we are allowed to keep Giada. And just to tell them that we have this. Come on, do your own thing, progress your own plan, don't kill mine. That's it. So we can attack for 2, and then put in our champions, which will come in as a 5/4. Pretty nice turn 3. And we've got picked up some more removals, so it's looking good. Okay. Rebels is an interesting one because we actually only care about the things that come out of it, so maybe we don't bother removing it. think we don't. Like this, probably. Then we hold these for the creatures that come out. That is one that I do struggle to deal with. Maybe we just fragment one of these now. Because we could do it on the Trelasara, but then they're just gaining even more life with these triggers. Whereas gaining one, that's not too bad for us. Okay. Life gain lands. I still can't believe they're actually worth it, but I guess you just need the right number. I don't know what that would be, but okay. So we can swing team down to 4, tap that. 7/6 Champions of Tyr. Obviously that cost us 1 damage with this, but much better having this held up. Yeah, we'll just get rid of the Valkyrie and then with basically 1, right? They're going to gain a bunch, but we've got so much damage in the air. Any other creatures to play? Not sure it makes a huge difference at this point. They definitely will have another one to play then. Just another Rebels. GG. Okay. Number 38. I play against this player quite regularly, so I'm expecting Esper here. Sadly, we can't actually draw a good hand, which is a bit sad. Yep. Same card. Blue, white. Oddly, I think I'm going to try and jam the connections, although it is into this counterable mana. They don't often run Jwari. Make this appear. Yeah, so we would have got Giada anyway. So this is, yeah, the one we don't mind giving up. We'll try jamming this. Another make disappear. At least they're stuck on 2 for all these counters. Trying to search for a land, that's good. Struggling for land is nice. We're struggling too, but at least I've got a creature down. They didn't mulligan, we did. I don't feel bad. Just getting another Kaleem, yeah, sure. At least we can get the connections down, see if they've got a Vanishing Verse. We start to print big angels, non-flying ones of course, but I are wondering what to do now. Going straight for the Diviner anyway. Obviously it's broken as hell, so I would go for it too, but I don't know how long I have to say what a problem this card is until it gets fixed, but I think we'll go all in here. So we can go Liesa, which I think I will do. As a 6/7 flying lifelink. The reason this is nicer is that it doesn't get Vanishing Verse, so obviously they don't really have anything that we can Vanishing Verse either, which makes it a low removal matchup, I would guess. Oops. What have we oopsed? Void Rend. Not that low removal matchup then. Give up 5 life here. You're not blocking with that, are you? You are. Is there a board wiping coming? Possibly. But I think we've got to put down the champions anyway. Just another diviner. Just infinite cards. Look at the size of their hand. It's only because we've got such tempo that it doesn't look like they're steamrolling this. So they chucked away that to look for a Vanishing Verse, I would guess. Looks like they may have pulled a Jouari. Okay, just get a treasure this time. Slow down our life loss. So this shapeshifter is 0 colours, so it can't be Vanishing Verse. I mean, it could be. We don't know what they're running. It could be cast down, which this can't. But I'm thinking, if we put this in, what we can put the lifelink on. Let's give it a go. We've got 1 mana in the bank, so obviously it can be bound to secrecy, but it gives us a little bit more stickiness on the board. Okay, it doesn't want the champions attacking. Don't blame them, but we have got another one in hand anyway. Gives us a load of life back. Which is nice. It means I can keep using my black market connections for more fun. Looks like they're eyeing up removal for Elspeth, possibly a Vanishing Verse. I mean, they've got 8 cards in hand, so at least we have a Vanishing Verse target now, but they can counter it once we pay the ward, which is slightly annoying. Tasha, so they can have a Liesa or a Righteous Valkyrie. Obviously we can give them. It's not really brilliant for them. And our creatures are big enough to attack anyway. Will they attack with Kaleem is the question. Probably don't want Elspeth pulling in creatures, but they don't seem to mind. Okay. Yeah, I think we can pay another 5. So what I might do here is try this. Because they can either protect it or they can use another Kaleem on one of my other creatures. And I might plus this. Give it lifelink. GG. It took down number whatever it was, Esper, with Angels. Who knew? Okay. Valar Morghulis, some Game of Thrones reference. Nice hand. So we can go with the Sanctum first, into Cave, and then we're flying. I've realised that where I have my webcam placed covers my rank. I guess I should move it up slightly. I might have a look at doing that after this video. Yeah, go Giada. Because if we can get this down as a 3/5, that's nice. And hopefully they'll be playing a creature instead of any removal this turn. That's often why it's worth having a punt on turn 2, because, I mean, yeah, if they've got 1 mana removal and a 1 mana creature, it doesn't work, but I think I will just remove these, as it's basically a 2-for-1. Obviously we're going to get a beating this turn. If they've got an Ambergris or whatever, something hasty in hand. Big spender. It's only 2, yeah. Okay. We can just put a Righteous Valkyrie, which I would not block with, I don't think. Okay, I would in that situation. I won't block the big spender because they get the treasure anyway. Don't know what I'm talking about. Put this in and then we'll minus, because it gives us a blocker and hopefully some life back. Yeah, nice. We can just not attack. Another big spender. And Ambergris, okay. So that's a nice refuel for them. So we'll probably block like this, take 6. They get 2 treasures, which is still not loads. Could remove 1 Valkyrie. I've got a Giada in there, so I can. Okay, they have removed 1. That is a bit painful. Fragment is nice for the den. We'll give this lifelink, I think, and then pass. Kind of want them to power the den up so we can fragment it, and then Takenuma. Bring back the other Righteous Valkyrie, and then have some fun. If they don't, if they just attack, I might just power up the cave. So we'll block like this. So we actually go up in life. Obviously they can remove this Valkyrie now, but yeah, I could fragment it, but I think we have to hold that for the den. Okay, that's pretty nice. It's probably going to cause a concede. Removes their 1 creature. And we can make it massive to the point it can't really be removed. Not when they're top decking. And I'll hold the Takenuma. Don't need an extra black source at the moment. Better off holding it to get back a Valkyrie in case I don't know what they can do. Something goes very wrong. I don't think that's going to win you the game. Are they actually going to attack? Into a 5/6 lifelinker? I didn't think so. We'll fragment it anyway. It's going to give them a chance to give me 5 life with the one token. Give this vigilance. GG. Sorry, mono red. Maybe you should have played my version without so many bloodthirsty adversaries. I don't like the 4 of. It can, because all it's doing is doubling you more and more creature removal, but if the creature removal isn't working for you, like this, it doesn't help. Nice. Okay, here you go. Have a quick look at the stats. So, you know, I have played this deck for a fair amount, 3 hours 14, and I've played 38 matches, winning 28 and losing 10. So, 74% win rate. Every single one of those games has been in Mythic. It's basically been one of my main winning decks at the moment in Mythic. As you can see from this video, I think we won 6, lost 1. We perform very well against Red. Red can still get under us on occasion if they get the right removal at the right time. We like, you know, for example, if we're on the draw, we put down a Righteous Valkyrie on turn 3 and they blast it. Well, you know, what can I do? So they can still get under you, but in general, we perform well against that deck. Good against Izzet, I mean, that's no surprise. They're a bit slow and they don't deal well with plentiful tough creatures. You know, if you're not running black or white, it's hard to remove Angels because they're 4+ toughness. They're very hard to remove. Black-white I've done well against, but that's just because those decks are a bit janky. I don't know. White-green and life gain, we do okay against too. As you can see from this, I am not playing against any Jund decks, really. I'm not really playing against much Naya life gain. It's mostly red and other sort of brews that people are trying now. There's really not a ton of the Cabaretti Revels type decks coming out. But this deck is positioned very well in the meta at the moment, I would say. It might not be in a week or two's time, but at the moment, if you run this deck and you're running into red a lot, this is going to do well. If you're running into other colour combinations that can't interact well or profitably against these 2 drops, then you're also going to do well. It does require some thought as to which you're going to play at what turn, depending on what colours you're playing against and what decks, but with a little bit of practice, and it's not that much, this deck can be a real powerhouse in the ladder. So I really hope you enjoyed my take on a slightly different deck that can be competitive at the moment, and if you did like the video, please do give me a like, but otherwise love to hear any feedback you have. As always, positive or negative, honestly I don't mind, I can take it, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.